All right, we're about to dive into a story from a man named Ron. And he's sharing this as a warning, really, hoping that nobody else ever has to go through what he did. Let's get right into it. Ron starts his account with that exact line. I mean, wow, that just immediately sets the stakes, right? This isn't just some scary story. For him, it's a very real warning. And believe it or not, it all starts with something as normal as a job offer. So this whole thing kicks off with a couple, Ron and his girlfriend, Jess. They had a pretty normal life, actually worked at the same company, until one day the company started making cuts, and just like that, Jess was laid off. For the next 2 weeks, Ron says it was just hell. Jess was spiraling into a depression, looking for jobs with no luck. Then, out of nowhere, a lifeline, an offer to teach English, but it was all the way in Tokyo. Ron was completely torn, so happy for her, of course, but also terrified of her being so far away. But, it was an opportunity she just couldn't pass up. And just 3 days later, she was on a plane to Japan for an 8-month contract. Even though Jess was really excited, Ron was just plagued with this constant gnawing anxiety. Was she okay? Was she safe in this new country? They tried to bridge that distance with daily video calls, but the time difference was absolutely brutal. For him to catch her in the evening, her time, he had to be up at 3 a.m. It completely wrecked his sleep schedule, but honestly, it was the only thing that calmed him down. Finally, Ron's anxiety started to ease up a little bit when Jess made a friend, a local woman named Asuka. Suddenly, Jess wasn't alone anymore. She had someone to explore with, someone to lean on. And with Halloween just around the corner, they were making all these plans, and for the first time in a long time, Ron actually started to feel like, hey, maybe everything's gonna be okay. And this is where the story takes a sharp, dark turn. Ron's vague sense of worry was about to morph into a very specific and very real kind of terror. And it all started with a simple message from a friend. So all of his friends knew how much he was worrying about Jess. One of them, totally well-meaning, sent him a link to a Reddit thread called, "Is Japan Safe?" The idea was that reading all the positive stories would probably help calm him down. So Ron clicks the link, and at first it works. The comments are all really positive and reassuring. But then he spots it. One ominous comment, buried in the thread, with another link. Curiosity gets the better of him, and he clicks again. The link takes him to a video. What he sees is a girl, hanging, bound with duct tape. Her face is covered by a white mask with the word dog written on it. Then a man walks in. His mask says God, and he's holding a machete. He asks the girl her name. She's begging for her life. He screams at her, "What is your name?" She tells him, and he just replies, "Wrong answer. Your name is dog." And then he attacks her. Ron just slams his laptop shut. His mind is just reeling. Was that real, or was it some kind of twisted, sick prank? His first instinct is to call Jess, but it goes straight to voicemail, and she always answered. That's when the panic just washed over him. Through all this rising panic, a thought just cuts through the noise. It was Halloween night in Tokyo. Of course she wasn't answering. She was out with Asuka, celebrating. So, trying to distract himself, he just starts scrolling through Instagram to kill time. And that's when he found her. And there it was, what he was looking for, a brand new photo. It's Jess and Asuka, big smiles, dressed up in their Halloween costumes, and they're surrounded by this huge crowd. It looked like a completely normal, happy night. So Ron's just scanning the sea of masked faces in the crowd behind them when his eyes just lock onto one figure, a horribly familiar one. Standing right there in the crowd, just behind Jess and Asuka, was the man from the video. The same white mask with the word God written across it. And that dread just came rushing back 10 times stronger. And as Ron zooms in on the photo, his blood runs cold. The man wasn't just some random person in the background. No, he was staring directly at Jess and Asuka. He was watching them. Before Ron could even begin to process what he was seeing, his laptop screen just lights up. It's a video call. From Jess. His heart is pounding as he answers, expecting, hoping to hear her voice. But what he saw instead was an absolute nightmare. The video shows Jess and Asuka just standing there, completely silent. And both of them are wearing the white masks now. Asuka's mask says, Dog 1. Jess's says, Dog 2. Ron is screaming her name, asking what's going on, but they just stand there, motionless, like statues. Then, a man's voice comes from just off screen, deep and distorted.
I wanted play the game.
At that exact same moment, a text message flashes on Ron's phone. It's simple, direct. It says, "Transfer $20,000. Before Ron can even think, the voice lays out the instructions. Dog 2, it says, talking to Jess, take out dog 1, now. The girls just start sobbing, Asuka pleading for her life, but the voice is just chillingly calm. If you don't kill dog 1, you will both be killed. Ron is just watching in absolute horror. Jess is weeping, screaming that she can't do it, forced into this impossible choice. And after what felt like an eternity, she raises her hand. There's a kitchen knife in it, and as Ron watched, helpless, from thousands of miles away, Jess killed her friend Asuka. The moment it's over, Ron is just screaming, begging the man to stop, promising he'd do anything, that he was sending the money right now. And that's when the man finally steps in front of the camera. He's wearing the God mask. With his hands trembling, Ron transfers the $20,000. He tells the man, it's done. The masked figure leans into the camera, talking right to Ron. I'm just a man trying to survive in this cold, cold world, he said. I just do what I have to do to put food on my family's table. Just know that God has nothing to do with this. And with that, the call ended. Ron frantically tries to call back, over and over, but there's no answer. He's shaking, completely broken, when 2 new messages come through from Jess's account. He opens the chat. The first message, it's a photo, a picture of Jess. She was dead. The second message was also an image, but it wasn't a photo. It was a meme, a picture of a man's face with a single taunting word written underneath. Gotcha. Ron's story is just this stark reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk just a click away, turning an online connection into a real-world nightmare.